Hey everybody, Selecta here. I'm here to continue with my playing around with Breakbeats tutorials. Um, so, alright, so if you missed the last tutorial, the link will be or is in the description. But anyway, this is continuing, so we're going to be doing various tricks. In particular, I'm going to teach you how to do reverses and stutters with various effects, pitch, shifting, and filters, like what have you. You know, you can go wild with stuff, and this is all going to be right in NNXT as well. So let's get into it. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to drag all of these. Remember, we have, just to sort of recap, right? We have the break and with different start points at every eighth note. So that's cool. Anyway, I'm going to drag these down an octave because I want to make room for other stuff that I'm going to do. So, and because my keyboard's not super big, you know, I just have I have a Korg microcontrol, and it only has a 3-octave keyboard. I mean, I can play any octave. It has octave up and down buttons, but I don't want to be pushing those all the time. I want to be able to access all my tricks on the same keyboard. Same keyboard layout, you know? So, and like the same like octave range. So I have these now, they're just an octave down, like put down an octave. So I'm going to select all of these. I'm going to hit Apple C and Apple V. So then I'm going to drag these to the C4 range. I could put it on the C3, but there's one that's on the C3 already, and I could delete it because it's not really an essential one. It's just this. And I almost never actually push that button, so I guess I could map them to C3, but I actually want that range for something else that I'm probably going to cover in another tutorial. But for right now, I have another copy of the same thing that we did last tutorial, but over here. But what we're going to do in this octave is reverses. So we're going to switch it, the play mode down here, to BW, which stands for backwards. So now, alright, cool, it's playing it backwards, but it's all starting from the same point. If you notice, they're all the same. We don't really want that, alright? We want... So, and the reason why it's all starting from the same point is because the end becomes the start. So I'm going to go through one by one and adjust the end points so that it's starting at the eighth note intervals that I had in the first one. So I'm setting this one to 12.5, which is going to mean that that one is just going to be the kick in reverse. Sweet. Nice. So then this next one I'm going to set it to 25 because it's going to be reversing from right before the snare. Third one, 37.5. Next one is going to be at 50. Next one's going to be at 62.5. Next one is going to be at 75. Remember, you hold shift to get the more precise knob movements. And with these parameters, especially with start and end points, it's important to be pretty precise. And this one I'm going to leave it at 100. And then I'm going to select them all, and I'm going to bring the start down to 0. So now, I don't like that. So the one that's on the G, I think that's this one, yeah. So let's bring it down slightly, let's see. Alright, it's getting better. Let's bring it all the way down and just I'm still getting a slight click. So just bring it down. There we go. Cool. So that's a cool effect, and you can use it just sparingly, you know, like if you're just like yeah, cool. Alright, next up, let's do some stutters. I'm only gonna do a couple, just to show you how you can do this. And you can do, you can do more if you want, but I'm going to Apple C and Apple V, so I'm copying and pasting the original break that I had, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to set this one to the black keys. Actually, I'm going to have this one here, because if you remember, I want the snare on the E flat, just because I find it easier to work that way. And then this one I'm going to move it up here. This one over here. And I believe this one is the last snare, so I'm going to delete these ones. Yeah, so cool. So I've got these chops on the black keys, and with this, right? Then to get it to stutter, I just use the loop function. So you go loop and oh, well, it's looping the whole break, but we don't want that. All right. So the loop starts at 0. Let's make the loop end at, remember, eighth notes are 12.5, so at about 6.2 is going to be the 16th note. Sweet. And now, if you want, you can play around with different things. For the kick, I like to have like a snare fill. Yeah, cool. let's see, the snare. Oh, did I say snare fill before? I meant a kick, like a filtered kick fill that's just like a, you know, like a little rinse. Let's see, for the snare, we want to set the loop start to 25 because the sample's starting at 25. And I wish it just did that, but... And loop end, let's make it again 16th note, so this one's going to be at 31.2. This is 25 plus 6.2, so 31.2, and I've got... Right, I didn't set it to loop. Oops. Forward loop. That is raw. So now... So what I did is, the attack here, I put the pitch in negative mode, so it's going downwards as the attack is moving up, and the length of the attack is the rate of the pitch decay. And then I put the sustain up. If I don't, it'll go back to the... See, after the attack, it just goes right back. And actually, it's a that can be a pretty cool effect if I put some decay on this, and it's like... That's cool, but I don't really want that. So yeah. And you can bring the volume down a little bit so that... Let's see, for this one's like the hat. I kind of really like having like a quick stutter, so let's do it at 30-second notes. So if it's at 6.25, so then the other one's going to be 3, so in 30-second notes are going to be 3.125. So loop start at 37.5. .5, and then 3.125, so it's going to be at 40.6. So let's try the 40.6. Let's see how that sounds. Of course, turn on loop and... Ooh. So I could do more, but that's, I mean, I have 2 more that I've designated, but you can get creative with those and figure out different ways to affect those and to you know, do whatever you want with them. So yeah. And next video, because this one's already at almost 15 minutes, but next video I'm going to show you the super convoluted way to do time stretches in Reason. There's not that many ways, and this one's actually really cool because you get a super raw, granular, like, time stretch, like that, like, real, like, you know. So, yeah, alright, if you like my video, rate, comment, subscribe. I love you all.